Yesterday during Donald Trump's truly insane press conference, something was overlooked, and I really want to talk about it because what he talked about, the Panama Canal being invaded, the Gulf of Mexico being renamed, buying Greenland, attacking one of our longest allies, Canada. He talked about all that stuff, and we've covered that. We're going to cover it some more. But I think we have to talk about what everyone missed because there was something big. Before we get into that, I just want to talk about this because Donald Trump went to Jimmy Carter's funeral today, where he's laying wake at the U.S. Capitol. There he is, looked him over him. Okay, I don't think Donald Trump should have been able to allow a step foot in that room. I know he's a former president, but here's the way that he talked about Jimmy Carter just months ago when Jimmy Carter was in hospice care. He was in hospice care.
You know, Jimmy Carter, I know a lot of you think that he wasn't a great president, but actually, compared to Biden, he was one of the greatest presidents. The happiest person on earth right now is Jimmy Carter because he said, "Darling, I'm no longer a bad president because compared to this guy."
And then here he is literally talking about him yesterday during his press conference.
And they were supposed to treat us well. I thought it was a terrible thing to do. And they've abused it. They've abused that gift. It should have never been made, by the way. Giving the Panama Canal is why Jimmy Carter lost the election, in my opinion, more so maybe than the hostages. The hostages were a big deal.
So this man has no business, I think, being anywhere near that casket. He couldn't even for a day lay off Jimmy Carter. And for the past year or so, it's been a big part of his stump speech saying that Jimmy Carter must be happy now because he was a terrible president. But as you know, this is just how Trump is. I'm not going to read this wall of text so big, but he called Governor Newsom, saying that he refused to sign the water restoration declaration put before him that would have allowed millions of gallons of water from excess rain and snow melt from the north to flow daily into many parts of Florida, blah, 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 blah. He blamed this disaster on Gavin Newsom, a time when literally families, children, pets are terrified. They're losing their homes. They don't know where they're going to live. And this is the way that our soon-to-be president is treating the leader of that state. Not how can I help you? How can I hurt you? And Gavin Newsom, for his part, really, I think, really just stepped up. Listen to this.
You know, people are literally fleeing. People have lost their lives. Kids lost their schools. Families completely torn asunder. Churches burned down. This guy wanted to politicize it. I have a lot of thoughts, and I know what I want to say. I won't. I stood next to a president of the United States of America today, and I was proud to be with Joe Biden. And he had the backs of every single person in this community. He didn't play politics, didn't try to divide any of us.
I just want to say real fast that if you are at all impacted by these fires, I am so sorry. My heart is with you and your family, and I hope you're okay. And I'm sorry that the soon-to-be president of the United States is not a leader, is a man-child. And at least we have Joe Biden right now. My hope to the nation, and especially California, is that Joe Biden and the Congress pushes through whatever relief needs to happen right now, ASAP, because in 12 days, Donald Trump will do everything he can to make sure this man and California gets no money. No money. That's what he's done before with natural disasters. He will do it again. But Donald Trump is causing chaos before he's even stepped into office yesterday, saying that he wants to buy Greenland. He wants to take over the Panama Canal, potentially using military force. When the electorate voted for him to get out of wars, not to create new ones. But I really do think that we have collectively looked over what this was all about. And here is the hint. And then I'm going to show you what I think this is what this is all really about. But here's the real quick, if you're liking this video, please hit like on the video. And if you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. It is the best way to help this channel and grow this so that more pro-democracy Americans can see this message. Thank you so much.
I'm the President of the United States, and I'm not allowed to speak. Why? Because if I did speak, people would understand the scam. It's a scam. And we have very dishonest judges, and New York judges are very bad. We had one that valued this house at $18 million because it was good for their case. He actually valued that chandelier is worth more than $18 million. He valued this house as $18 million. And we have another one who was so nasty, so horrible, such a brute, most vicious, vile person. These are New York judges. But we've won most of the cases, so we're very happy about that.
So this was the tell. So he went through that press conference, made a lot of news, made a lot of noise, and this is what it was really about. Earlier that day, Donald Trump made a request to Merrick Garland not to release the final special counsel report. Lawyers for Donald Trump on Monday called on Attorney General Merrick Garland to block the release of a report authored by Special Counsel Jack Smith detailing his findings in the Justice Department's 2 criminal cases against the president-elect, which could be made public as soon as this week. In a letter addressed to Garland on behalf of Trump, the president-elect's attorneys shared the Trump's demand to terminate the preparation and release of Smith. Now, the strange thing about this isn't that they didn't give a legal reason why not to do it. They just said, we want you to not do that because we have a new attorney general coming in and we want her to decide. That was literally his legal reason. So all of this here, all this stuff, oh, Canada, blah, 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 United States, you know, all of this stuff, it's just trolling. It's trolling. Now, I do think on some level he wants to do something. I'm not saying that he's not serious, but I'm saying that he made all of that news because he wants to distract us from the fact that he wants that report to never see the light of day. And for Merrick Garland's part, he says that he does not care and he is going to release part of the report. He's going to release the special counsel's report on Trump's election interference case, but he's not going to release a report on Donald Trump's classified document case. And here's a little bit of why, and I am a little pissed off about that. The filing arrived a day after U.S. District Judge Eileen Cannon, one of the greatest judges we have, totally not compromised, has barred the Justice Department from releasing Smith's report. Her ruling was in response to an argument from 2 others charged in the classified documents case who said making the report public would negatively affect them in ongoing litigation. Cannon's order prohibited any public sharing of the report until 3 days after the 11th Circuit rules on a request from those co-defendants. So she's just delaying. Now, here's 2 things that could happen. One, a member of Congress, it says here, there's no way to restrain members of Congress from disclosing their opinions regarding the report or from disclosing the contents thereof. Nor is there a way to prohibit them from disclosing materials to members of their staff or to prevent members of their staff from leaking the contents of the report. So members of Congress could leak the report. I think they should, because you know what? If the shoe was on the other foot, do you think like Matt Gaetz or Nancy whoever or Marjorie Taylor Greene wouldn't release the report somehow? Of course they would. Democrats need to start fighting. We cannot continue to pretend like politics is how it was before Donald Trump got elected. Politics is never going to be the same again. Maybe it'll eventually be cordial. That's not where we are right now. We're at war. And when you're at war, you use every single weapon you have. And we need to do that. Now, also, what Joe Biden could do is release the report. He has absolute immunity. He could do it. He could say, Merrick Garland, do it, and I will pardon you. We have to do everything we can to make sure the truth gets out there, because Donald Trump is going to do everything he can to rewrite history. So we have to make sure that there are markers in time for historians in the future and for the public to know what really happened on January 6th and what he did with the classified documents and the evidence they have.